need a volunteer who can read the target with a big, clear voice for everyone to hear. To Jalen.
I can list ways individuals and the government respond to immigration from 1880 to 1925 and explain the effects of those decisions on immigrants.
Okay. Have you seen this target before?
Yes.
You haven't seen it as a target, but you've seen it as a question, an exit slip. List ways individuals and the government responded to immigration from 1880 to 1925. The only difference is the second part. Today, I will ask you to be able to explain the effects of those decisions. However the government and individuals responded to immigrants, what were the effects on immigrants and their rights? Question? Okay. Do we understand this target?
Yes.
Any questions about the target? Yes. This word? Immigration. What does immigration mean? Ashton.
To go, or it's from a you're from a different country. You're from a different country and you want to come to a different country, but you're legally called an immigrant.
Okay, so it's someone who
Or
moves.
illegal alien.
Someone who moves from one country to another country to live. Not anymore, but I was at one point. Okay, so we all understand the target?
Yes.
Okay, good. I need you to look at your exit slip from yesterday. Look at that list. Now, many of you, most of you, had at least one of them on your paper, which is good. What did we learn that the government did yesterday to respond to immigration? What were some of the things they did? Brandon.
They built Ellis and Angel Island.
Boom. The government created immigration stations, Ellis and Angel Island. That's what we worked on yesterday. If you don't have this, you better get it down. Worded like this. Government created immigration stations. Example, Ellis and Angel Island. You have that? Government created immigration stations. Let me see. Where is that? I don't see government created immigration stations. I'm giving you a hint. I will ask for this again. You need to have a list that looks like my list. What else did the government do that we learned about yesterday? How else did they respond to immigrants? They created those immigration stations. What happened inside of those immigration stations? James.
People got tests.
Exactly. Boom. That would be a correct answer. Government gave physical exams. And then you write, for example, they checked their, what did they check there? Their eyes for pink eye. And they just checked their general physical health to see if they had diseases.
I don't think it's really fair what they did.
You have to raise your hand. Yes?
I don't think it's really fair what they did to those other people, because just because he was looking at your plate, like maybe trying to get someone out of the stuff.
Okay. Well, you're going to learn that the experiences of the people in Angel Island was even more unfair than what happened in Ellis Island. All right, what else happened? What else happened in that building? How else did the government respond to immigrants? Rosemaria.
Legal exams.
Okay, give me an example. What was a legal exam?
What is first English?
They asked you questions in English. Questions like, what is your name? And if you couldn't pass that question, what would happen to you? You would be sent back. So the government gave legal exams. Make sure you have this. And the last last one, James? Exactly. They would give you care. Would you still get to stay?
No.
No, they would fix you up and send you back to your country. Raise your hand. Ashton.
That was pretty much.
Is that right? Okay, well, you're really going to be upset when you learn about what happened at Angel Island today.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you have questions.
So they just did all that at English?
Yes, this is mostly these exams. Well, no, they did them. They did these things at Angel Island too, but they did even more at Angel Island. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Questions? No comments.
Yes.
Questions? Yes.
Did you have a choice whether you could go to Angel Island or Ellis Island?
Who can answer that question for him? Kyle.
It depended on where you live.
Like in China and Asia?
You would go to
Ellis
Island.
Angel, because that was down in California.
And if you were European, you would go
Ellis.
Ellis
Across
Island.
the Atlantic.
Okay, across the Atlantic. All right.
Oh.
Everybody have these.
Yes.
Keep this chart in mind throughout this lesson because you're going to learn about new ways that the government and individuals responded to immigrants, and we're going to add on to this list. That will be your exit slip for the end of today. What new things did you learn about how the government responded to immigrants? What did they do to them? How did they treat them? Everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay, what I need you to do after you get this list, I need you to take your social studies notebook to your desk and line up outside on the stars. On 0. Please don't make me have to drop clips. All right, I need all eyes on the target, please. I need a volunteer who can read the target with a big, clear voice for everyone to hear. To Jalen.
I can list ways of
Individuals.
individuals and the government respond to immigration from 1880 to 1925 and explain the effects of those decisions on immigrants and their rights.
Okay. Have you seen this target before?
Yes.
You haven't seen it as a target, but you've seen it as a question, an exit slip. List ways individuals and the government responded to immigration from 1880 to 1925.
Oh, yeah.
The only difference is the second part. Today, I will ask you to be able to explain the effects of those decisions. However the government and individuals responded to immigrants, what were the effects on immigrants and their rights? Question? Okay. Do we understand this target?
Yes.
Any questions about the target? Yes. This word? Immigration. What does immigration mean? Ashton.
To come to go, or you're from a different country. You're from a different country and you want to come to a different country, but you're legally called an immigrant.
Okay, so it's someone who
Or
moves.
illegal alien.
Someone who moves from one country to another country to live. Not anymore, but I was at one point. Okay, so we all understand the target?
Yes.
Okay, good. I need you to look at your exit slip from yesterday. Look at that list. Now, many of you, most of you, had at least one of them on your paper, which is good. What did we learn that the government did yesterday to respond to immigration? What were some of the things they did? Brandon.
They built Ellis and Angel Island.
Boom. The government created immigration stations, Ellis and Angel Island. That's what we worked on yesterday. If you don't have this, you better get it down. Worded like this. Government created immigration stations. Example, Ellis and Angel Island. You have that? Government created immigration stations. Let me see. government created immigration stations? I'm giving you a hint. I will ask for this again. You need to have a list that looks like my list. What else did the government do that we learned about yesterday? How else did they respond to immigrants? They created those immigration stations. What happened inside of those immigration stations? James?
People got text from the
Exactly. Boom. That would be a correct answer. Government gave physical exams. And then you write, for example, they check their, what do they check there? Their eyes for pink eye. And they just checked their general physical health to see if they had diseases.
I don't think it's really fair what they did.
You have to raise your hand. Yes?
I don't think it's really fair what they did to those other people. Because just because he was looking at your plate, like maybe trying to get something out of the stuff.
Okay. Well, you're going to learn that the experiences of the people at Angel Island was even more unfair than what happened at Ellis Island. All right, what else happened? What else happened in that building? How else did the government respond to immigrants? Rosemaria.
Legal exams.
Okay, give me an example. What was a legal exam?
What is first exam?
They asked you questions in English. Questions like, what is your name? And if you couldn't pass that question, what would happen to you? You would be sent back. So the government gave legal exams. Make sure you have this. And the last one, James? Exactly. They would give you care. Would you still get to stay?
No.
No, they would fix you up and send you back to your country. Raise your hand. Ashton?
That was pretty much.
Is that right? Okay, well, you're really going to be upset when you learn about what happened at Angel Island today. Okay. Once you have questions.
So they just did all that at English Island?
Yes, this is mostly these exams. Well, no, they did them. They did these things at Angel Island too, but they did even more at Angel Island. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Questions? No comments.
Yes.
Questions? Yes.
Did you have a choice whether you could go to Angel Island or Ellis Island?
Who can answer that question for him? Kyle.
It depended on where you live. Like in China and Asia, you would go to Ellis Island.
Angel, because that was down California.
And if you were European, you would go
Ellis.
Ellis Island. Okay, across the Atlantic. All right. Everybody have these.
Yes.
Keep this chart in mind throughout this lesson because you're going to learn about new ways that the government and individuals responded to immigrants, and we're going to add on to this list. That will be your exit slip for the end of today. What new things did you learn about how the government responded to immigrants? What did they do to them? How did they treat them? Everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay, what I need you to do after you get this list, I need you to take your social studies notebook to your desk and line up outside on the stars. On 0. Please don't make me have to drop clips. All right, welcome to Angel Island or Ellis Island. Welcome to Immigration Station. When you are on the first line, I'm going to motion for you to step up. Make sure you speak clearly. What is your name? How many windows are in the classroom? 4. Go to the back of the line. Failed. Step up. What is your name?
Tristan Spies.
Everybody on the star so I can see who's talking. How many windows are in the classroom?
5.
Who sits at your table?
Rosemaria, Juan, Ashton, and Myra.
Who sits at the second table closest to the door? what's your name? What's your teacher's middle name? Correct. What's your teacher's husband's middle name? Failed. Step over, pass.
Step.
Pass. What's your name? What's your teacher's middle name? Spell it.
D-E-N-I-S.
Incorrect. Failed. Pass. All right. Welcome to America. You need to go back to your countries. You have failed the test. All right. Back into the room on the carpet.
I love this book.
Man, this is messed up.
You got to eat. All right, let's talk about, everybody turn this way, let's talk about what just happened. Now, we can all talk, but what do you have to do? Raise your hand. Thank you. Question to Jalen. Yeah, probably even a little bit worse. So, raise your hand. Now, remember, you guys, you figured out we were playing a game. So, magnify your feelings times like 100. Now, what did you think about the questions? Kyle?
Sort of impossible.
Okay, he said they were impossible to answer. Brandon?
They were like really hard because I didn't know all of their middle names.
Okay, they were really hard questions and stuff that you couldn't know. To Jalen?
And the stuff that she asked, she was like, well, the stuff that she asked, she was like, the stuff that your family will probably know.
Okay, so, and that was some of the questions that the Chinese immigrants experienced. Questions that they felt like were impossible to answer. Okay, what did you feel? How did you feel when you were being questioned? How did you feel? What type of feelings did you have? Amaya? Scared? You were worried?
Clueless.
Clueless?
Pressured.
Pressured. And you were in school. It was just a simple, can you imagine? Now we know the reasons many of these people left. What were some of the reasons people left their countries? Some of the push factors that pushed them out of their countries. Rayvon?
They was treated unfairly.
How so? Based on what?
How they live.
Think about Monday's lesson. Ashton?
Because new laws passed against Jews.
So they were treated unfairly based on their
skin color and their culture.
No, their
customs.
their religion.
I said culture.
Yes, I know. That's why I pointed. Their culture. Ephraim.
Famine and diseases.
Famine. People were pushed out for famine and diseases.
War.
And war. So just imagine how stressed you would be about passing those tests. Because you don't want to be sent back to your country. Who can remember what some of the people did when they were sent back? Myra? No. What did they do? If they found out they had to be sent back, what did they do? Kendall? Very good. They jumped off their boats, flipped up, because they did not want to go back. Also, okay, how did you feel about getting accepted and rejected? How did that make you feel? Katie?
Unfair.
Unfair. Why do you say unfair?
Because like the questions that you asked the people, you probably didn't even know what your husband's middle name was. How would we know that? And then you would just let all these other people pass.
What was in common? What did the people who got to pass have in common?
They all had those stickers.
Right, they all had those stickers. But I assessed. I did like they said. Remember, the immigration officers would take 6 seconds and assess the line. Okay, you're good to go. You're good. And they gave them a what across their chest to Jalen? A code, right? They wrote on their chest with chalk, right? And I did the same thing. Did I pick out all the people who were behaving?
No.
No. It's impossible to in 6 seconds because it's so fast. Is that fair?
No.
No. Well, it wasn't fair. Did that promote justice?
No.
Equality?
No.
Okay. Now, today, question.
Yes. Why did the people that didn't have that? Why did the people that got accepted didn't have to answer any kind of questions?
Because it was just up to my discretion. I just looked at them. They looked healthy to me.
Because that was my goodness.
They looked fine, and I just gave them a sticker. They got to pass. Now, we know what happened at Ellis Island. The reason I gave you questions that were impossible to answer was because Chinese, Japanese, and Korean immigrants were discriminated against because they were from Asia. A lot of times they were given questions that were impossible to answer. And then they were held at Ellis Island for months and sometimes years before they decided if they could come in the country or if they were going to send them back. How long would the Ellis Island people have to wait? What did they say on the video yesterday? Rivon? No, wasn't a week. James? How many hours?
1 hour, 2 hours.
No. Ashton?
2 to 3.
Nope.
Yeah, I did say that.
6. 4.
4 to 5. So like 4 to 5 hours. Compare that to Angel Island, where you had to stay on the island for months and sometimes years before they told you if you could stay or you had to go back. Sometimes you would be there for a year and then they would say, you can't stay, go back to your country. Is that fair?
No.
Does that promote equality? But that's how they were treated. Questions, if you have a question. And Ashton, this is the last one I'm going to give you about calling out. Yes.
The reason that the Americans asked them a lot of questions is because they didn't want them in there.
Mm-hmm. They didn't want them. And you're going to find out why. Yes.
What was famine?
Famine is when people are starving, like a crop has been destroyed by a disease, so there's not a lot of food in the country. To Jalen. Quickly. Yes. Question. Yes.
Why did they have to stay a year when it took only 6 seconds to check them?
Well, it wouldn't be 6 seconds. They would grill them about like interview questions. At Angel Island, they wouldn't do the simple checks that they did on Ellis Island. It was more intense. James.
So you told me they have to like just sit there for a year.
Mm-hmm. They would keep them there. They would have to sleep on these beds. And then on top of that, they would separate the women and the men. So you would be separated from your family. They could be in the same area. Yeah, they fed them, but it wasn't a lot. Yes.
What if they're not sick no more?
It didn't have to be that they were sick. It could be that they couldn't answer the questions.
Like, it was a year.
But you'll see the questions, some of the questions. You're going to see in a little bit. Yes.
Why would they separate the men and the women?
That's just what they did. Okay. Now, so what's going to happen? Just now in our activity, I was the immigration officer. You now are going to be immigration officers. You will be given a brochure. That is your training manual. You need to learn how to do your job. Now, remember, when you're checking people's application, you can't just accept people because of the way you feel and what you feel is right. You have to go by the manual. What does the manual say you should do? Everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what the manual looks like. Okay? It has a lot of information. You will get this manual and read it aloud with your group. Then I will give you a set of applications. These are people trying to come in the country. You will either accept them or not accept them. You will base your decision on the information in the pamphlet. It'll tell you who to accept ask about each. You and your group member should ask these. If you listen and then wait to see if I answer your question, you might hear it. And then when I say questions, raise your hand. You and your group will read this together. Learn about how to do your job. Then you all will have the same application. You will read over the application. You will ask these questions. Is the person from China? You will need to know that. And you'll discuss, does that kick the person out or are they still allowed to come in? Then, is the person looking for work? Then look at this. If yes, this person is not allowed in the country. So that automatically excludes them. So you should hit no, reject it on their application if they're looking for work. These questions will guide you to figuring out if the person should be accepted or rejected. Questions, Jalen? All of you will be the officer. Every person will have a manual. Every person will have an application. Darius. Yes, this is yours to keep. You get one. Everyone will have a packet. Each packet has 2, 4, 6 applications.
But how do they know who to accept and who to not?
Your manual will tell you. Base it off what the laws and the rules are in your manual. Brandon.
Why didn't they want them here if they was looking
Your
for
manual will tell you. Read your manual.
Okay.
Derek. That's their application when they came. All right.
Who will be the immigrants?
The people on here. Now, first I want you to study this. When you're ready, everybody will take one of these out. You will look at the same one. You will discuss the questions I just asked, and then you will decide, okay, do we want to accept them or reject them? After you've made your choice, I will come around with some stamps. I'm going to leave the ink pad up there. Please don't waste time standing up there, pushing the ink in. Just dip it and then go back to your seat and make your selection. Everybody understand?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, go back to your table. No. I love this group. They already have their brochures out and they're reading. I did not say touch the applications until you've read the brochure. You don't need that yet. You will have 10 minutes, so don't waste time. Go.
The U.S. government decided to write some laws to keep the Chinese away from coming to America.
Chinese exclusion in 1882.
Immigrant Law of 1824. This law limited the number of certain groups of immigrants coming to America, including just visiting Asian, Chinese, Japanese, diplomat. Okay, so those are our questions. Like on Angel Island.
Make sure you study all the pictures and read all the text. waste time.
Person looking for work. Yes, this person is not allowed in the country.
Is this person a merchant?
Is the person just visiting?
Just the person?
What do family members mean? If a person questions do not name their family members, they could be lying. They are not allowed in the country.
Does this
Take one stamp. It doesn't matter which one you get. I'm leaving in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Is this person a merchant?
You. Please don't waste time talking about what letter you see.
Person questions cannot name their family members. They could be lying. They are not allowed in this country. Does this person work for the government?
Like on Angel Island, I plan to stay in America for the rest of my life and leave on never. My address in the United States will be 4708 East Beach Street, San Francisco, California.
Read all the text.
Yes. He's not looking. He's working for. He's looking for work.
Discuss it with your group.
Yes.
You don't have different ones. You all have the same one. And pay attention to what side your paper is on. You have 6 minutes. You better start your application.
Where mine at? Where mine at?
On the day of July 16th.
you have the eyes too?
All on the bag.
My job
But he's looking. But he's working for the government. So
What does the manual tell you?
If he's going there looking for a job, this person is not allowed in the country.
he's not allowed. Yes. So
He's not allowed.
What does it say? Read the whole text. All of your information is in the whole text.
So we
What
can't
does
let
the
her.
law say?
We can't let her in because she wants to work.
The whole country was a merchant. In America, I plan to work for the royal merchant.
That's for the government.
If you have a family member in America, please visit their names. No one. I plan to stay in America for the rest of my life.
Y'all not focused on what you should be.
My address is the United States will be 4708 East Beach Street, San Francisco, California.
We should already list it, so then it'll be easier for us. So we won't take for it. We should put
You need to accept based on the information. So does he check out? Does he check out? What does it say about family?
no one. Oh, it is looking for work. So
If a person question cannot name their family members, they could be lying. They are not allowed in the country. That's in bold.
Sorry.
Are we on the Chinese In America, I plan to speak with the United States government. If you have family members in America,
Hopefully we're not wasting time. I don't know why people there's a big old that should be a title. All you need to do is
I plan to stay in America for 2 weeks and leave on October 23rd, 1930.
So that means she's visiting. So she's. Wait, hold on. Y'all just see it.
You have 2 minutes.
A citizen of China.
So he doesn't know China. The United States of America coming with
me is mother. I was born in Hong Kong, China, on the day of April 1st.
My job is my home country was not in America. I plan to visit the country and family members as a tourist.
What did she just say? Read this.
And he plans to stay in America for 2
What are the questions they have to answer? Her 3 questions. Not name their family members. They are not allowed in the country. That is in bold and capital.
Wait, I don't see it yet.
Not accepted. That's the bell. This activity, you do not have to infer anything. You go based off the facts. The manual tells you who can come in the country and who cannot. If their application does not give you the information that they should be able to come in the country, you must hit not accepted. Is it fair? I know it's not fair, but that's what you need to do.
My job in home country was student. In the American, I plan to study biology at a college. If you have any family members in America, please accept their names. Yeah, let's go. I checked it. So no, he's a black player in America.
Oh my gosh, I've already accepted it.
He plans to get a job. Right? He doesn't know.
No,
We can't accept it.
I'm going to give you an extension. 2 minutes.
Or a merchant. We not accept. We cannot accept. Kristen, you know why we can't accept him? No, I don't know. I don't know. No one said. I'll put it right here. No. And it says. Person looks for work.
When the timer goes off, you need to be on the carpet with your brochure and your social studies notebook. Turn in your application to the Block 3 bin. You have 2.5 minutes.
Sorry, you just left after she So we got to see if we got Ever not accepted. He has a no family. America,
1 minute.
We can't accept him. Wait, what's his job? Oh, he was a student. Oh, we can't accept him. Not accept.
Not accepted.
Are we done? Or next
Does he have a job?
No.
What does the law say?
He must be a merchant, a deployment, or working for the government. No, wait, we tell you when you're right here. Unless he's a merchant, mandatory, or working for the government.
Thank you for being on time.
You're welcome.
Rosemary. What did I say? Your application should have been turned in. You need to have your social studies notebook and your manual to the carpet. If you left your stamp on your desk, you do not get a clip up, go put it up. Give them their stamps, please. Can't know you left yours on your desk. You just picked it up. So only Myra gets a clip up. And Rose Maria. And Tristan. So Jalen, I need you to come on down. We can wash our hands at the end of the lesson. Ephraim, you are holding the whole class up. All right, what did you find out from your manual? What did you learn that you didn't know before? Demia.
That some people,
You know, come on. What did you learn? Just tell me anything you learned that you didn't know before. Yes, I can come back to you. Myra. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Why were Chinese immigrants discriminated against more than European immigrants? Why did they treat them so bad? Derek. Okay, they needed jobs, and why was that a problem? I thought the people wanted the Chinese to come and work on the railroad.
but that was
Why was the fact that Chinese needed jobs, why was that a problem? I'm not going to call you if you do all that. Rayvon?
They can have jobs dealing with the government if they
No, not what was kept them from coming into the country. Why did they discriminate against Chinese and Asian immigrants? Katie?
Because the American workers are scared that the Chinese.
Speak up so everybody can hear you.
The American workers were scared that the Chinese were taking jobs away from them.
Okay. Why were the American workers scared that the Chinese would take their jobs? Why would they be scared of them and not the European workers? Ashley.
Because there's like a lot of Chinese immigrants coming in the country.
Tristan.
because then like if they pick up all the jobs from them,
That's not why they were scared. It said it in the text. Derek.
But like if somebody else comes in, then they tell them
No. Amaya.
because Chinese was willing to work for them.
Say that loud to the whole class.
Chinese was willing to work for them.
They were willing to work for longer hours and for cheaper pay. Miss Neal? No. This stops. So they were dangerous in the eyes of the individual citizens in the country. So did individuals want Chinese immigrants in their country?
No.
No, they didn't. All right? How did the government respond to what the citizens wanted? What did they start to do because of their needs and wants? Kyle?
The government only let Chinese people that were businessmen,
Well, what was it called? What did they create?
Chinese
Exclusion.
Exclusion Act of 1882.
Exactly. That would go right on our list. You should be putting that on your list. The government created the Chinese Exclusion of 1882 to keep some of the Chinese immigrants out of the country. It's right in the text. What else did the government, how else did the government respond? Brandon?
By creating the Immigration Act of 1924.
Exactly. They also created the Immigration Act of 1924. And what did that say, Brandon?
It said it limited the number of certain immigrants coming to America.
So which ones?
Asians, like including Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Indian.
Yes, very good. Correct. Now, was that the promotion of equality?
No.
No. That was not fair, but that's what happened. You have a question?
No.
Comment? Is your hand up?
Answer for,
Okay, go
because you
ahead.
were asking,
Okay, go ahead.
what else did you learn? I learned that, people didn't get to go in the country because they wanted a job. The people that put to get a job that
Right.
couldn't go in.
They already had to have a job. Was that fair? No, because the people who came in Ellis Island, they didn't have to already have a job lined up, and they could still come in the country. Now, your exit slip. We talked about things the government and individuals did to respond to immigration. Add on to your list. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 other things from today. 2 things the government did and 1 thing individuals did. I want you to add that onto your list. Then, at the bottom, this should be a new list. I'm going to look right at the next page, make a line if you have room, or turn the page over, and I'm going to give you a grade just like I did the one yesterday. Then I want you to tell me, how was today's lesson? Did you understand everything? Did you kind of understand everything? Or were you confused? And explain why. Yes. Yes, that's what I did. You do that last time, make sure you do it today. Make sure you explain why you felt the way you did about the lesson. After you do that, put your social studies notebook, stack them up on the on the work table, put your brochure in the front pocket of your binder, and come to the carpet so we can play a game. You're answering this. What did you learn today? How did the government and individuals in this country respond to immigration? What did they do to immigrants? And what did they do for immigrants? James. Kendall, when you finish, orchestra's here. I said when you finish, we're going to play a game, if we have time. Make sure you put today's date on where you want me to read your exit slip for today, so I won't be confused. Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
What did I just say?
Put the date where your exit slip
Today's
is.
date for today's exit slip. The faster you move, the more we get done.
Do you want to put our agendas on there?
No. I want pass the class, but I've already given instructions.
Put it in the front. Put it in the front pocket of the binder. Put it in the front pocket. Oh, thanks. Let me just write it down.
No.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Download our paper too.
Yes, you have to have this on your paper, and then the 3 that are new that you learned about today.
Didn't we already go over them?
Yes, we did. Don't worry about that. We'll do that later. Let's go quickly so we can play the game.
What game is it?
Where should you be? Thank you, Katie, for following directions. Flip up. Thank you to Jalen for following directions. Flip up. Awesome. We're playing immigration game as if we were at Ellis Island.
Oh, yes, it's Ellis Island.
Hopefully we will win this time. We normally lose. Someone get the lights, please. We've lost all the other ones?
Yes, we lost the railroad one, and then we lost the
Okay. If you're still working on your exit slip, that's fine. Make sure you have a good answer.
Welcome to 1916 and your new life. Things are a bit different. There's no television or video games. However, Nickelodeon movie theaters like this one are quite popular. There are cars on the streets and many horses.
James, scoot over a little bit.
Woodrow
Myra
Wilson is
over.
President of the United States. World War I is raging, but the United States is not yet involved. You are about to become one of nearly 23 million people who immigrated to America between 1890 and 1924. Luckily, you will have help on your journey. Victoria Confino is a young immigrant just like you. She came to America in 1913 from Turkey. Now, Victoria lives in New York City with her family. No longer a newcomer, she will help you start your new life as an American. In order to complete your journey, you will first create your immigrant passport. Next, pick what you're going to bring with you to America. Then, sail for America. All aboard? Next, pass the inspection at Ellis Island. And then, make choices about your new life in New York City. Where will you work? What will you eat? Don't worry, Victoria will help you make these hard decisions. And don't forget to drop a note to Victoria, updating her on your new life. America, here you come. Good luck.
All right. Do we want to be a boy or a girl?
Boy! Raise your hand!
Raise your hand if you want to be a boy.
We win! Sorry, girls.
Yeah, it kind of is majority.
All right. Girls, what country would you like to be from? Russia, Italy, or Austria-Hungary?
Italy.
Italy.
I have.
Okay, what is our first name?
Antonio.
Hold up, I don't even see them. Antonio. No, we need an Italy name.
It's got to be English.
Why does it? No, his name doesn't have to be English. None of those names are English. Names.
Antonio. Gallo.
Gallo.
I wish one of them was Banderas. Like Frantino.
Is that on topic?
No.
Wait, you didn't do a signature.
You don't put your signature. All right. We will be sailing to America. The steamship is crowded with passengers, luggage, cargo, and even animals. We will not be able to take much. Drag the 3 most important items. Rosemaria, give me one.
Food.
Food.
Should I drag it?
Yes. Quickly. And Brandon, give me another one.
Clothes.
In the trunk.
Clothes.
Yep. And Jalen. Go ahead, put it in the trunk. Who said we don't need shoes? Did Jalen?
Yes, but
Okay, now, do you think the immigration officers are going to let us pass if we're walking through the station with no shoes on?
No.
Do you
not so clean like the poster. My brother and me, David, together we carried some food from my town, and there is one man on the boat. He tell us that the food on the boat was so good we don't need to bring this, so we put it in the water away from the boat. But my mama was not so happy for us to do this. Keep your health inspection card with you when you come through, because this will be important. You need to have it throughout your journey. And make sure that you are careful with whatever you brought, because my mama always tell me when we carry a manta and the Hanukkah, everything we bring from Costa Rica, we must keep it close, because you never know what will happen. When you go to Ellis Island, somebody told me a story that from the time you start to walk on the stairs, the doctors, somebody is watching you. So be careful and show that you are not sick, because they will look at you and see if you are okay all over. There is one man, the eye man. Everybody is afraid of him. My brother Saul was very frightened of this man. He used a hook like this one to look inside your eye, and nobody liked it. But once you are in America, this is only for American shoe with a button. It's not for doctor, so you don't have to be frightened no more. They will ask you many questions at Ellis Island, so look at your ship manifest and be sure that you can answer these questions before you go.
Okay, entry the stairs. Up the stairs you go to Ellis Island's Great Hall. This is no ordinary walk. Doctors will be watching to see if you look too sick to enter the country. Health inspection. On the health inspection, American officials want to make sure that everyone who enters the country is healthy enough to earn a living. Most people pass these exams, so don't worry much. Now, so these people are coming to look for jobs. Were Chinese immigrants allowed to come to look for jobs?
No.
No, they weren't. Health inspection. You will visit a series of inspectors. One of them will be the eye man. He will turn up your eyelids and look for the contagious eye disease. It sounds gross, but it will be over quickly. Okay, here's our legal inspection. Hope y'all remembered our name.
It's Antonio.
Okay, wait a minute. All right, just a few questions. Here's your legal inspection. We want to make sure you will be a good American and obey the law. Use your passport information. What is our name?
Antonio.
Okay, how we spell it?
It's right there. Bring
Where
up
is
your
it?
Right there. There's a picture.
Down at the bottom in cursive. You can read cursive, Miss Neal.
Can you bring it back up?
Yeah.
Oh no, it won't let me click it.
Can't you read cursive? It's down in cursive.
Where do you see it?
Right here, under his picture.
Oh, right here.
Oh, is that why everybody failed? It looks like kind of like the Titanic. That's what I was trying for. Hey, you passed already. Yeah.
Okay.
Italy.
Where are we from?
Italy. It says right there. How
We're
old is
12.
12. You can't be 12 over a kid.
We're 12.
How old are we?
No, you put it wrong. You spelled it wrong. No. Yo, E from how do you spell it? I-T-A-L-Y.
I got it.
11.
We're 12.
12.
11. It even says we're 12.
Okay,
What do y'all want me to do?
12.
Y'all all look alike.
Oh.
I earned a nickel.
Who's getting answers?
We earned a nickel.
Congrats. You earned a nickel to see a movie. Look for it in Victoria's apartment.
Why would I be sticking around here?
That's where we live
In
in.
this building, every apartment is the same. There is 18 family on 5 floors in the building. When you live here, you will have water in your apartment,
good job. Were you guys worried about the questions?
Yes.